So you started producing for other people. You built your own studio. How do you build these connections where you've worked with even your artist list, dude? You've worked with everybody from Migos to Avril Lavigne, NF, which you have a 6-time platinum track with NF, to Toby Mac, to Chris Tomlin, to Carrie Joe. Bro, your list is pretty remarkable. How do you start from your own band and your own music to then your first artist?
Dude, it was a crazy thing. Like, I was traveling a lot, right? And when I made that decision to build the studio in my basement, like, I didn't really tell anyone that I was doing it. It was just kind of on my own. I'm like, I'm going to build a studio and then see if I could get work. And maybe in a couple of years, I could like produce full time. Like, that was my goal. And we built the studio. And once the studio was finished, within 5 days, I had like 9 months of bookings lined up. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
How is this?
Oh
I'm
my
like, how is this
gosh.
possible? Because I didn't even tell anyone, you know? So, like, I cannot not attribute it to being a God thing. Like,
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
out of control, out of the picture. Like, I didn't do anything. I didn't even tell anyone. And so I would get random emails, dude, from people. Like, there's a guy from South Dakota that randomly emailed me and said, hey, I found this music video on YouTube. I love your sound. Do you record other people? And then this
Hmm.
woman from Florida, this girl from New York, this other kid from Ohio, like, they just started emailing me and said, hey, I heard from another person that just you do music, or you just made a studio. And they just started like coming. So I had to like quickly figure out like a business model, right? Like, I didn't know anything. How much do I charge per song? How long are these albums going to take me? Like, how to stagger them. Like, I had to figure all that out really quickly. And of course, you don't figure it out for a couple of years, right? So you kind of put something together, and then you have to live through it
Yeah.
for months to figure out, whoa, I need to change this or change this. I'm way
Yeah.
behind. That's not enough for the amount of time I'm working on it, And
Yeah.
so, and then honestly, 1 month into that, I already knew Nate, NF. Before that, we kind of just connected through one of his friends sent me his music or whatever. And so we kind of loosely knew each other. And about a month into having my own studio, he texted me one night and was just like, hey man, I'm gonna be in town for one night. You want to hang out? Wasn't even like, let's work. It was like, let's hang
Hmm.
out. And so I was like, yeah, man, I just built a new studio. Come over. And that night we ended up making a song that ended up making it to the desks of labels that got him signed and then got me signed as
Wow.
a partner. And that was just like a crazy life-changing pivot point. Pretty quickly, like after having that studio, and we talk about that too, because he's like, dude, I almost didn't text you. And I was like, dude, I almost said I was too busy and couldn't do it, for whatever reason. Like, we just kind of, another God thing. Like, we just
Yeah.
like, yeah, let's hang out. And then we did a song, and that was kind of what started like his
Which
career, my official career.
which track was that for you guys?
A song called Wake Up was on
Okay.
his first album. So that was the first song we really did together for him
Yeah.
and his music. And then we did some other songs after we knew that it was getting some notice or whatever. And honestly, dude, I'll just be honest. I was like expecting to just continue working on these indie projects. And I was like, oh, sweet, he's getting signed. Like, good for him. And I just thought
Hmm.
it'd be his journey. He was the one that was like adamant about, I'm not even going to sign unless I can work with Tommee. And I was
Wow.
like, what? Like, he was a 22-year-old kid, with him, you know what I mean? And just pretty bold, and he's a loyal guy. And so I wasn't expecting to like come along for the ride with him, but
Sure.
he kind of pushed for that, and it's been awesome. I mean, now we're, best friends making music
Yeah.
together.